maintaining social distancing and constant prayer.
We're here for you. We're still here. We will get through this together.
SKCCU will continue to be your financial partner for life.
Use the squeeze with Digicel. Win $1,000 in groceries monthly. Get your chance when you activate any Digicel Prime bundle. Pay your bill in full. Sign up for a new postpaid or home entertainment package, or simply just join the Digicel family. It's that simple. Be one of 4 lucky winners selected every month from January to March to participate in our Ease the Squeeze shopping sweepstakes. Digicel gives you more, so you can ease the squeeze. Digicel, better together.
Without limits, happy, free. Skin your ring with no apology. Want to seize the day. Grab and let be. Live, love, be. Live, love, be. Live, love, be. Live, love, be. Who you know you can be. Grab and let be. Live, love, be. Angostura, lemon, lime, and bitters. Live, love, be.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. I'm Jason Davis. Another batch of COVID-19 vaccines will be arriving in the Federation on Monday morning. According to a senior health official, 20,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine are expected from the Serum Institute of India. That institute is the largest manufacturer of the AstraZeneca vaccine. A reception is planned at the RLB International Airport at 9 a.m. Among those expected to be in attendance are Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, Minister of Health the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, other members of Cabinet and members of the National COVID-19 Task Force. This donation is separate from the 21,600 doses of vaccines which will be provided by the COVAX facility within the coming weeks. ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation will be hosting a series of activities over the coming week to celebrate the 60th anniversary of ZIZ Radio. The activities will be held under the theme, Building on Our Legacy, ZIZ at 60. And due to COVID-19 protocols, many of them will be virtual. Reflecting on the company's history, General Manager Veer Galloway said ZIZ Radio has grown over the years and its reach has now expanded to cover the globe using modern technology.
We have expanded its reach beyond St. Kitts and Nevis throughout the years using the modern technology such as the internet. Persons can access ZIZ Radio on the internet wherever you are.
Media.
Former employees have gone on to other institutions as well. We provide development for lots of our staff here at ZIZ Radio, and we prepare them for their future. For instance, we have persons who have gone into their own media business, opening radio stations, have their online portals and different things. So we provide a strong avenue for persons who pass through ZIZ Radio.
Among the activities planned are a donation to Addie's Place on Tuesday, an anniversary program featuring gospel and secular artists, as well as the presentation of awards on Wednesday night, the Goldwyn O'Kane's ZIZ Primary School Elocution Contest on Friday, a health walk on Saturday morning, and an anniversary church service in partnership with the Antioch Baptist Church on Sunday, 7th March. ZIZ TV will also air a series of interviews with past ZIZ Radio personalities, taking a look back at their time with the company. In other news, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris has emphasized the government's support for the fisheries sector, noting that the sector can play a lead role in St. Kitts and Nevis's economic recovery post-COVID-19. Prime Minister Harris made those remarks when he addressed the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources National Fishers Consultation at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort on Thursday. In his address, the Prime Minister said, quote, "COVID-19 has taught us a lesson, and as we look to the future post-COVID-19, we're looking to agriculture, crops, livestock and marine resource development to help make our future stronger and safer," end quote. The Prime Minister noted at the consultation that the past year has highlighted both the potential and resilience of the fisheries sector that can still be tapped into. In this regard, Prime Minister Harris assured the fisherfolk in St. Kitts and Nevis that his Team Unity administration stands with them and will continue to provide the necessary financial and technical support. He said, quote, "We've put aside $15.8 million in 2021 for the agricultural sector. Of that amount, $4 million have been put aside for marine development in St. Kitts, and we have also in that budget put aside some $3 million to continue some of the stimulus investments which had taken place before," end quote. Thursday's consultation was held under the theme, "Together we invest, transform and build partnerships for sustainable agriculture and food security." Coming up, we'll have another look at some of the stories from the past week. Stay tuned.
Horseworth Building and Nevis Centers are making lawn and garden easy! Come to Horseworth Building and Nevis Center now and get 25% off school-wide on our entire lawn and garden department. Yes! For the months of February and March, Horseworth Building Center and Nevis Center is making improving your lawn and garden easy! 25% off all garden supplies, garden equipment, garden accessories, including weed eaters, lawnmowers, and much more. Get 25% off all lawn and garden items happening now at Horseworth Building Center in St. Kitts and Nevis. Horseworth Building and Nevis Centers, making home improvement easy!
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or black cards can do. Mimi, what's that song? It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
The national COVID-19 vaccine rollout plan officially got underway with a ceremony at the Newtown Health Center on Monday. More in this report.
About 50 persons from various sectors, including the federal cabinet, were invited to get the first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. Medical Chief of Staff at the Josephine France General Hospital, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, received the first shot, followed by Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. In his address during the launch ceremony, the Prime Minister spoke of the significance of the event and the need to get the population vaccinated.
We are now at a watershed moment. The moment of vaccination. We had always hoped that we would be able to begin our vaccination program before there was any hint of community spread in our federation. Thank God He has brought us this far and we are able to accomplish this goal.
He also pointed out that the government is leading by example, as several ministers were present to receive their shots.
The cabinet has come today to be part of the initial rollout because leadership matters. And in this particular case, particularly in the context of the disinformation with respect to vaccine, we want to signal to our people it is safe. And the results so far have been efficacious.
Monday's event catered to a specific list of invited persons, and after that, anyone who wants the vaccine can make an appointment by calling 311. Now, the government has said many times over that this vaccine is not mandatory, but they're hoping that with the information that's being disseminated, persons would make up their own mind and voluntarily take the vaccine. It's part of an effort to get at least 70% of the population vaccinated. Reporting from the Newtown Health Center for ZIZ News, I'm Jason Davis.
Dozens of persons turned up at the Newtown Health Center on Tuesday for the second day of the government's vaccination rollout plan. Here's more.
According to Deputy Coordinator for Community Nursing Services, Nurse Rhonda Laurie Robinson, the turnout was very encouraging.
What we said today is it was a good day. Yesterday we gave around 70 persons, and today we gave a little under 50, 40 plus persons. So we had a crowd again today, and we are really, really glad that persons are hearing about the COVID-19 vaccine. They recognize that this is a global situation.
The patients themselves spoke of their willingness to get the vaccine.
As soon as I found that it was available, I sought to get here, and I'm happy that I did. I'm in a vulnerable group. I'm hypertensive, and I also provide some health services as an HIV tester counselor. So I'm happy for the opportunity to get vaccinated.
It makes me feel good to be part of the process of rebounding from this pandemic that has caused us so many challenges, both the health impact, the health challenges, financial challenges, moral, psychological, and so it feels good to be part of the rebound from it.
It's the same thing to do. I mean, to protect yourself.
I had the vaccine today with the belief that I feel much more comfortable than just sitting around among people, not knowing whether I would get infected or not. But having the vaccine, it's a way forward to tell me there's a possibility that I would not get the vaccine and will not get infected. I'm coming to organize because I would...
The collaborative efforts of USAID and the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Society this past week. Here's more.
Health and other government officials gathered at the ceremony.
We are so very grateful for your commitment. The receipt of this new ambulance in particular is very timely and very much important to and for the Ministry of Health, as no doubt it is to the people of St. Kitts, because such an addition to the existing fleet of ambulances ensures that there is an adequate first respondent mechanism to respond to medical emergencies nationwide. In fact, having a large number of EMTs is simply not enough. There must also be the required vehicular capacity to respond in a timely manner.
The ceremony also saw the handing over of a passenger bus to the St. Kitts and Nevis Red Cross Society to transport volunteers and staff to raise awareness about virus prevention. Giving an overview of the project, Director General of the St. Kitts and Nevis Red Cross Society, Hester Rollins, said the pandemic has shown the importance of collaboration.
The global pandemic has also demonstrated the need for governments and non-profit organizations to closely collaborate, to pool the scarce and finite resources to combat the effects of this debilitating pandemic. This official ceremony is evidence of such collaboration, whereby USAID has funded the procurement of these vehicles to IFRC and is gifting the bus to our national society. This ambulance is to us to be handed over to the Ministry of Health here in St. Kitts. We are reminded that unity will always lead to strong bonds and generate fruitful outcomes.
Addressing the ceremony virtually, U.S. Ambassador to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Linda Tagliatella, pledged the continued commitment of the United States of America in the fight against COVID-19.
We are committed to helping those in the Eastern Caribbean.
Throughout the pandemic, the United States has worked with organizations like the International Federation of the Red Cross, UNICEF, and POWER to provide much-needed pandemic response assistance to St. Kitts and Nevis and the region. We are in this together, and together we will rise to overcome the challenges presented by this pandemic. We know that these donations will help you to continue your model management of COVID-19 for the benefit of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Minister Barry Nisbet said the donation of this new ambulance allows the Ministry of Health the ability to now have an ambulance stationed both at the Mary Charles Hospital in Molyneux and the Pogson Hospital in Sandy Point.
After the break, Martinique protesters seek accountability for pesticide poisoning, and COVID-19 vaccine rollout for the Pacific Islands expected to take years. Stay tuned.
We are all essential in the fight against COVID-19.
At Courts, we're doing our part, and we encourage you to stay at home, stay safe, and shop online at www.shopcourts.com.
For added convenience, our Courts online customers will receive free delivery and get up to 20% off televisions, appliances, and homewares. Plus, if you shop with Ready Finance, you will pay nothing down for 60 days. Now, you can stay home, shop online, and save.
Remember, do the essential. Wear a mask, wash your hands, practice social distancing, stop the spread.
Get ready for an exciting year with Flow Broadband and TV connecting you at home. Sign up now and get a free Samsung tablet worth over $900. Up to 100 megabits per second blazing internet will keep everyone on top of everything every day. While Flow TV delivers the best home entertainment with the latest shows on demand in HD plus favorites you can record. Visit your nearest Flow store today to sign up for Flow Broadband and TV and get your free Samsung tablet. Conditions apply.
Horseworth Building and Nevis Centers are making lawn and garden easy! Come to Horseworth Building and Nevis Center now and get 25% off school-wide on our entire lawn and garden department. Yes! For the months of February and March, Horseworth Building Center and Nevis Center is making improving your lawn and garden easy. 25% off all garden supplies, garden equipment, garden accessories, including weed eaters, lawnmowers, and much more. Get 25% off all lawn and garden items happening now at Horseworth Building Center in St. Kitts and Nevis. Horseworth Building and Nevis Centers, making home improvement easy!
Regionally, thousands of protesters in Martinique have called on judges not to throw out a long-delayed case on pesticide poisoning. Chlordecone was used for decades on the island, even after it was banned on the French mainland. It has been blamed for high levels of cancer in the region. Al Jazeera's Homara Choudhury reports.
Marching on an island they say has been poisoned by pesticide. Thousands demand justice for a crime they say is 2 decades in the making.
It is absolutely necessary to be here today to fight the criminals. Those who have polluted Martinique, those who are destroying us, those who have already deported our ancestors, who enslaved our ancestors, who today want to poison us, want to see us disappear. Enough is enough now.
Nearly all adults living on Martinique and neighbouring Guadeloupe have traces of chlordecone in their blood. Tons of the chemical was sprayed on banana crops, contaminating soil, rivers and coastal waters. It's been blamed for a high incidence of cancer, and residents believe the French government should be held accountable.
Anger is beginning to seriously translate. There is no question of a statute of limitation for the chain of crimes that have been committed against us, against nature, and against the humans of this country. It is not possible that the state, which bears a large part of the responsibility, will not take steps for a true reparation of the damage that has been caused.
Chlordecone, sold under its commercial name Capone, was created in the US in the 1950s. It was banned there in 1976 after several contamination incidents. The World Health Organization has classified it as potentially carcinogenic. Experts say it also affects children's nervous systems.
In children and those people who now have it in their bodies, the cancer rate on the island is out of control. It really is a dangerous and damaging pesticide, banned long ago in France and most of the world, but permitted in that island far too long.
French President Emmanuel Macron has previously called it an environmental scandal, but the future of the case is unclear. The High Tribunal of Magistrates in Paris says some evidence has disappeared and the damage may have happened too long ago to now claim compensation. The people of Martinique, however, remain defiant and are calling on the French government to give them the justice they've been waiting.
HGP TV News.
Well, as Prime Minister Rowley would have alluded to, we had quite an extensive discussion on agriculture.
Value chain of agriculture, while referring to the creation of inter alia, wealth and business opportunities, which will result in a sustainable and resilient agricultural drive throughout the region. Ghana's head of state posited that the leaders of the region also looked at their competition, focusing on shortfalls and how member states can capitalize on those weaknesses. Ali further spoke to examining current barriers to trade which exist within the region.
And we have decided that we're going to work through a ministerial task force, the private sector organizations, and also through our subcommittee on CSME to come up with an action plan, not only to remove those barriers, but to identify some specific areas, some specific products, for example, poultry, the poultry industry, where we can develop a strategic approach to achieve the outcomes I spoke of.
Access to capital, involvement of young people, improvement of transportation infrastructure, ease of access to doing business within the region, as well as legislation to treat with waste, were also discussed at the virtual conference, according to the President. While acknowledging that these initiatives were examined based on the outcome of several studies over years past, he mentioned that the body is now moving towards action.
And moving now towards an action-oriented agenda with specific targets that we would like to achieve.
Summarizing, Ali noted that all these initiatives will fit into a global context fueled by the political will of the region's leaders. Meanwhile, current chairman of the regional body and Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, added that engagements also took place with one of the region's leading conglomerates, Neil & Massey, who expressed that the private sector is willing and able to support the initiatives outlined, while it is also confident that it could raise the capital required to move these plans from paper to field and factories. Wendell Badgery, HGP Nightly News.
Internationally, small Pacific Island nations have been some of the most successful countries in the world at keeping COVID-19 at bay. But despite these efforts, their tourism-dependent economies have been badly affected, and there's no sign yet of a recovery due to the lack of access to vaccines. Al Jazeera's Nicola Gage reports.
Papua New Guinea is experiencing a rise in COVID-19 cases and testing rates are low. But for the most part, Pacific Island nations have avoided a major health crisis during the pandemic. Their crisis is an economic one. With borders shut, many people are out of work in tourism-dependent countries like Vanuatu and Fiji, that's also recovering from a cyclone that devastated communities.
From pure money in the pocket and transport for the children to get to schools and having food and the school uniforms, it's a real crisis right now.
Vaccines are being rolled out in the Marshall Islands and Palau, helped by the US government. But for the rest, some experts say it could take years to vaccinate most of their people. Countries are initially relying on the global COVAX initiative, an alliance of organisations delivering vaccines to developing nations. Exact rollout dates for the Pacific aren't yet confirmed, but it's hoped they'll begin in the coming months.
We're hoping to reach 20% of the populations through COVAX, but that isn't enough. We need the support of everyone to make sure that eventually everybody can be vaccinated against this horrible disease.
For the other 80%, Australia and New Zealand have committed to supplying vaccines, but their timeline also isn't clear. Some experts believe Australia should already be helping its neighbours, given its relatively low numbers of COVID-19 cases, and to secure regional influence in the Pacific.
If we want to keep being relevant in the region, it is very important for us to provide the region with vaccines, to help them with the implementation of the vaccination rollout.
The region has previously faced challenges in delivering vaccines to isolated communities. This time around, vaccination is critical to reopening borders and getting countries back on track. Nicola Gage, Al Jazeera.
We'll be right back with a recap of the top stories. Stay tuned.
The coronavirus is bad, so there is one thing we can do. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands.
Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. To keep away the flu, there is one thing we must do. Wash our hands, wash our hands, wash your hands.
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
We now wrap up with a recap of the top stories. Shipment of COVID-19 vaccines arrives on Monday. ZIZ Radio celebrates 60th anniversary, and fisheries sector expected to play key role in economic recovery. And that's it for the ZIZ Major Newscast. Thank you.
afternoon, and I welcome you to Working for You. I am Les Roy Williams. I thank you very much for joining us for our program today. As usual, your company is very much appreciated wherever you are. Today we are going to be having a discussion on a very important topic, that of sustainable agriculture in challenging times. Of course, you know that we are still in the COVID-19 pandemic, and various sectors have been impacted significantly. The tourism sector, the agricultural sector has been impacted, but now we are seeing even more the need for the agricultural sector to have a sort of a boost and people to focus more on agriculture, because food security is important. We saw that when the pandemic just started, that was the concern of many people around the world. The whole idea of food security, whether they would have enough food and so on. We saw it here in our federation, of course, when people were wondering what is going to happen. Will we have enough to eat and so on? And you saw that the panic buying, the people buying up stuff in supermarkets and so on, because they thought that there will be a food shortage. And that speaks to the whole importance really of food security. So while working to feed the world, many agricultural workers are unable to lift themselves out of poverty and food insecurity. As this pandemic spreads, the continued functioning of food supply chains is crucial in preventing a food crisis and reducing the negative impact on the global economy, the local economy, the regional economy. Coordinated policy responses are needed to support agribusiness and the livelihoods and working conditions of millions of agricultural workers in line with relevant international labor standards. Today, I am joined with two very competent persons who work in the agricultural sector, in the Ministry of Agriculture. I am joined by Mr. Melvin James, who is the Director in the Department of Agriculture, and Mr. Ian Chapman, who is Crops Program Leader in the Department of Agriculture. Gentlemen, welcome to this program.
Thank you. That's right.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, for having me here again on Working for You.
Right. Now, of course, we know that the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, has brought an awareness to us, heightened the awareness of the importance of food security. The tourism industry, really, you have seen the devastating impact that the pandemic has had on the tourism industry worldwide. And the tourism industry can be a very fragile industry.
It is.
And we have to be able to feed ourselves. Food security becomes very important. Now, Mr. Chapman, this year, the United Nations has designated 2021 as the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, which basically falls under the whole umbrella of agricultural production and so on. Now, what is the real purpose of this designation by the United Nations?
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams, and good afternoon again to the listening audience in the radio world and wherever you may be listening or watching us here today on Working for You. As you rightfully said, Mr. Williams, this year has been designated as International Year of Fruits and Vegetables by the United Nations. And as we, as a federation, join with the rest of the world to commemorate this event and pay tribute to the work that our farmers are doing to adhere to the fresh fruits and vegetable production and the livelihoods that it makes, the impact to our small farmers here in our federation, we know that a sustainable agricultural support approach to our ministry will ensure and make our food system more productive, and the environmentally benefits of the sustainable and resilient approach that our ministry is now trying to tackle this. Of course, we all know the whole lot of benefits of fruits and vegetables, and I could go into that a little later in my presentation, but coupled to the whole reasons why the whole United Nations would have been addressing or labeling this year to be what's announced as the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, you could see that lightning that the COVID-19 pandemic has really challenged our farmers and by extension our extension services to provide or find new ways of creating and improve our nutrition and our market opportunities to our people, because we know the COVID-19 pandemic, we need to transform and rebalance the way that food is produced here in the Federation, as you rightfully said, because in the early stages of the announcement of the COVID-19 pandemic, people were shopping like frenzy, and of course we at the department really thought that, wait, what if boats don't come? We really need to think about that and how we'll be able to feed our people for our own resilience and sustainability of our, what you say, our country, our federation by extension. So with that, in this current health crisis we are facing the world, so we are really promoting healthy diets to strengthen our immune system, because we know when we eat these foods and the benefits that the antioxidants and the various vitamins will provide from eating your fresh fruits and your vegetables will build that immune system that will make you so much more, what you would say, better. I'm notwithstanding that we have to take the vaccine as a precautionary measure, but of course ensuring that promoting our fruits and vegetables aspect of eating into this will help with our will not be overcome this COVID-19 pandemic.
You know, while we speak about, I spoke about the panic buying and so on, and